if any of you guys have like Facebook or maybe Instagram or even maybe a YouTube channel, do you give yourself a like on your own comments? Like if you make a comment or something on Facebook, maybe you send a message or whatever, and to share with the audience, do you press like on your own thing? Or do you like other people's comments? Or both? Same with those of us that have YouTube channels. If you upload a video onto your channel, do you press like, the thumbs up on your own video? Or do you let the audience do that? I'm just interested in knowing. Because if I do upload anything to Facebook, like if I were to share something on Facebook or Instagram, I'm on there now. It's just my name's hard to find. I think it's Lehre Michael, like Lehre Michael. I think it's backwards. But anyway, I never post anything, whether it's a video, like my workout videos. I don't like my own stuff. Like I don't press the like on there. And if I were to make a comment on somebody else's Facebook, Instagram, or even on their YouTube channel, I won't press like on my own comment. Now the one thing is, and that's the same with my videos. When I upload here to YouTube, I never ever like my own video, like press the like, the thumbs up. I don't ever do that. I save that. I leave that for other people to do it. And the reason I do that is because on YouTube, people aren't going to know that it was me that was liking my own video. They're just going to say, oh, look at that, his video got a like. But they won't know it was me that did it. But if I were to do that on Facebook or Instagram, like, press like on one of my own comments or something I've shared, then people are going to know it, right? It's obvious. Now, it's not that I'm saying I care about what people think about me, so I don't like my own stuff. No, I just, I see that for other people to do. That's just how I am. And just because I won't do it, publicly, where it's obvious if I like my own stuff, like Facebook or Instagram, but I won't do it on my YouTube either, where it's in private, because nobody would know if I was doing it anyway. But I just, that was my choice when I started, YouTube and all that. I just thought, I'm not gonna try to, get the likes going and make it look like somebody else liked my video. But really it was me just hoping to give myself lots of likes. You know what I'm saying? Because that can become an obsession in anything in your life, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you're on. It can be an obsession to how many likes you're getting, or even how many friends you have or how many subs you have and all that. It gets like you get caught up in it. You can get caught up in it if you allow it, right? You don't have to allow it though. You have more power in you than you think. I know you might say, I can't help it. It just naturally happens. No, you don't. You can keep yourself humble through those things. Now, there's a Bible verse that says there's nothing hidden that won't be brought to light. And what that means is there's nothing hidden that won't be unveiled. You can hide in the dark for so long, but eventually the light's going to shine on it and you're going to see what it really is. Now, when I am by myself and there's nobody around, my form of what you might call worship to God is different than what you might see in a church setting. Because usually when people are at a church building and get together, when they worship, they might raise their hands or even fall down on their knees, and there's other people that can see that of course. And I'm not saying it's a showy display on purpose. Maybe the people, that's what happens when they listen to music. Their hands go in the air, they drop to their knees or cry or whatever. But what you do when you're alone and nobody is there to watch you, supervise over you, it's a different story. You know, there's pastors that have preached vehemently, is that how you say that word? Vehemently against sin. But then one day you find out somehow how their life got exposed, and you found out that they were living in it. Everything they were talking about the world doing or backsliding Christians doing, you find out they themselves were doing. You know, when I was in my super religious Jehovah Witness religion, I mean, you know, super strict and all that, and we were supposed to be, you know, the most moral of all people. We were the most moral religious people because we didn't get involved in holidays, we didn't get involved in sports, we didn't go to college, right? We didn't vote for the worldly governors or worldly presidents to be our rulers, when really the truth is the Watchtower Society is our rulers. That's our rulership, right? The Jehovah's Witnesses. And we thought we were the most cleanest, you know, godly people because of all that. But you know what? Lots of Jehovah's Witnesses, including myself when I was one, we had our little secrets and we did things behind closed doors that were naughty, that were forbidden. But we did it. Do you know what's naughty and forbidden in that religion, by the way? For them to watch anything that has to do with Jesus that doesn't come from their leaders. Anything that has to do with God that doesn't come from their leaders. Anything that has to do with biblical things that doesn't come from their leaders. And they are most certainly not allowed to listen to or watch YouTube channels just like mine that speak about Jehovah Witness stuff, because I was once in that religion. I know it very well. For 30 years, served it faithfully, thinking it was the truth, believing it was the truth, defending the truth, until the lights went on for me at 30 years old. And you know, if you're in darkness for a long time and you get hit with light, what happens? First, it's like you're blinded, right? Because your eyes adjusted to the dark for so long that when they do, if light suddenly flashes into your eyes, well, what happens is it's blinding. So, you know, the way to turn the light on, especially if you've been adapted to darkness for such a long time, is it's good to turn that light gradually, so that your eyes can adjust to it. So when the light did come on for me as a Jehovah's Witness, you know, my life changed when I one day cried out to Jesus. That's what happened to me, and it was a gradual change. I'm not saying everything just suddenly switched overnight, but it definitely started changing, and my adjustment was, you know, different. You go through stages of grief and all this stuff, and everybody goes through their own thing. But the one thing is, you know, they weren't. I remember when I was a Jehovah's Witness, we weren't supposed to listen to anything what they called apostate, meaning anything that came from a former Jehovah's Witness. And we were forbidden as a religious organization to listen to any of that stuff. Now, today, of course, I know why. Because if I was listening to a former Jehovah's Witness as a Jehovah's Witness myself, then they might wake me up to the truth. They might show me some stuff that I didn't know before about my religious leaders and their teachings. And that's where the real light shines, is when you see that kind of truth. Especially when you've been calling something truth all your life and you find out that it was actually, all of it was a lie. But that did happen to me. And I kept investigating and until I knew 100% that this religion I was in was a complete lie. And that's really difficult when you are indoctrinated all your life, like I was, born and raised in something that I believed in, that I went through Great Depression in, because I was so down on myself, not being a good enough Jehovah Witness, not being good enough for God or for his organization. You know, I really beat myself up for it, and I struggled with suicidal thoughts and depression and all this stuff for so many years because I felt worthless because I took the religion so serious. But, you know, my life habits and things that I was battling didn't show that I took the religion serious, you know, because I battled with my fleshly weaknesses. But it wasn't because I was depressed because of people finding out about me, which most Jehovah's Witnesses, they are only mostly concerned about what people think about them, instead of what does God think about me? What do I think about me? And that was the thing I struggled with because I was so sure that God had nothing but terrible thoughts about me, and that, you know, I was a waste of his time and a waste of space here on earth. I got an appointment I'm going to go do, so I'll get back to this as soon as I'm done. Okay, you guys? To be continued. Thanks for watching and listening so far. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back from my appointment, and where was I? I was talking about how I wasn't too worried about what people thought about me. I was really concerned how God thought about me and how I thought about myself, because I thought my thinking for myself was pretty much in alignment with God's thinking for me. See, I wasn't one of those guys that bragged to God about how much good I was doing and how much bad I was staying away from. In fact, it didn't matter how much good I was doing. To me, it never was quite enough. Quite enough's not even the right way to say it. It was never even close to enough. No matter how much I did for God in that religion, I just knew it was never enough, not even close. And I battled with that because it really got me depressed, because, you know, since I wasn't too concerned about how others viewed me, and you know, my parents, you know, how they viewed me, you know, that's a whole different story. I definitely wasn't concerned about how they viewed me, because they never really gave me hope about myself in the first place, right? Like, when your parents don't see nothing but terrible in you. But anyway, what was that? Anyway, I was very concerned about how God viewed me, and I thought my views of myself were in alignment with God. So I was self-condemning, which meant God was condemning me as well. And I knew that his eyes were perfect, so I knew that he saw even more terrible things in me than I was capable of seeing in myself. Because I knew one thing, I believed 100% that I couldn't hide anything from God, which made me walk around as a Jehovah's Witness condemned constantly, because I knew that I couldn't hide anything from God. And I didn't think that he was counting my good, right? Jehovah's Witnesses, they kind of think they can balance things out. You know, this is something that's common among them, is they think that if they do enough good stuff and that outweighs the bad stuff, then they might have a chance to be spared before God annihilates all of the wicked ones. But the interesting thing is, what made me really different than most of the Jehovah's Witnesses that I did know at the time is that they were very into impressing each other and their leaders, where I was known kind of as a rebel. Oh, they don't allow facial hair? Well, watch me not shave for a few days, and I'm going to purposefully walk into the Kingdom Hall where the Jehovah's Witnesses meet, and I know that I'm going to get attacked about this, about not shaving close, but I did it anyway. Because I just knew that their rules, there was something with their rules that I just, you know, it's not that I wanted to purposefully break them, But I liked taking things to the limit because I saw that there was something that was wrong with our rules, many of our rules. But as a good Jehovah's Witness, I was waiting for God to shine his light on our leaders so that they could see that much of their rules were ridiculous. But who am I to question my leaders? So as those leaders believe, when God wants to shine the appropriate amount of light on them, then they'll receive his light and give it to their flock. That's why they always say the light grows brighter and brighter, because they fail prophecies constantly. And then they don't take the blame on themselves. They put the blame on God and among their followers for listening to these. It's just ridiculous. Well, God, he was giving us light. See, so God was giving them the false prophecies, but he made his light grow brighter later on. So when God's prophecies would fail, well, he would show them the reason why his prophecies failed later on by bringing forth even more light. Ridiculous, you guys. The Jehovah's Witnesses leaders will never say, listen, we failed in our prophecies. They don't take credit for that. Oh, they might admit, oh, we're imperfect men. Well, who doesn't admit that? You never hear anybody saying that they're perfect, right? I never hear people, even narcissists. I've never heard a narcissist even tell me that they're perfect. And I've known quite a few narcissists. So I dared to push the boundaries, if you will, to the limit. I even remember showing up to the Kingdom Hall with bleach blonde hair. And I did it myself. And I knew I was going to get reamed for it. I knew I was going to get reamed for it. But I just did it. Because I knew that that everybody was so concerned on outward appearance and on putting up on a show for everybody else. Worried about how others are going to think of them. What are others going to think? It's amazing how, people would get so excited. My guy friends would get so excited if they went camping. Why? Because they're out camping so they don't have to shave for a few days. And how special it felt for a man. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but you didn't live in this cult. Well, some of you did, but those of you that haven't, what's the big deal about growing a little facial hair? You don't understand. Being forbidden to grow facial hair. And when you're a teenager and you're turning into a man and you got this stuff coming out of your face and if you let it grow, it's evil. So you better take a razor and start shaving it. It's a bummer because you want to see what you look like with facial hair. Right? Teenage boys understand this. And if guys, you adults, if you remember what it was like being a teenager, it was part of being a man. Right? But for the Jehovah's Witness leaders, that stuff's evil. So I pushed the boundaries. I'd grow some facial hair. I'd bleach my hair. I wore suits to the Kingdom Hall that were a little too fancy, stylish, trendy, I guess. But there's a whole bunch of rebel Jehovah's Witnesses today that come on YouTube and they break all their rules. They're not allowed to watch my YouTube channel, but they do it. And I'm hoping they will. But the one thing they always do is they get so angry and they make angry comments and how they're the true religion. And, it's like, wait a minute, you don't even believe your religion's 100% true because you're breaking the rules against it. Deep down you're questioning things. And you're not allowed to do it. Now, you would never dare publicly announce on your Facebook or on any other social network platform of yours that you, hey, check out this video I watched from an apostate. Here, I'll share it here. Comment on his channel and tell him how he's speaking lies. They would never do that. Jehovah's Witness, why? Because all the other Jehovah's Witnesses would know that they watched an apostate channel, something forbidden of them. Apostates for Jehovah's Witnesses, somebody that used to be a Jehovah's Witness, knows that the religion is the truth, but chose to leave on purpose and then preach against it. That's a true apostate. So I'm a true apostate to them. But do you hear what I'm saying? So on social media, they'll never admit that they watched a video like mine. They'll never admit it. But the one thing they could do is come here on YouTube, and they have a fake name, of course, you know, like Ultimate Mordecai is not my name, but everybody knows my name because I announce it, Michael Lehre. I have nothing to fear. A lot of your favorite truthers don't give their true identity. Some of them don't even show their faces because they live in fear. They'll pretend, well, I don't want people to be drawn to me. Why? Because you're super attractive or something? You're afraid everybody's going to be looking at you because you're good looks? Come on. That's not the truth. You just don't want people to know who you are, you know, for whatever reasons. Maybe you're terrified that the man's after you. I just don't worry about that stuff. So I let myself, my name be known, my spelling of my name and everything. You guys even see my neighborhood I drive around in. How many people could figure out where I live? Probably a whole bunch. But the Jehovah's Witnesses, they make fake names, and then they make comments, and they also press the like button on their own comments. The other day I was on my phone texting somebody. I got a text message, so I was returning the text, and suddenly I got a YouTube alert that somebody made a comment on one of my videos. And so I just so happened to look up that comment, and because I like to press, you know, a like or a heart on it, or even comment back sometimes. And the guy had given himself his own thumbs up. He liked his own comment. And I mentioned to him, you know, only deceive people try to deceive others. And then he commented back, it's not illegal. There's no rules that I can't like my own comment. And you know, that's typical for a Jehovah's Witness, because when I was in that religion, a friend of mine, I showed him the truth about the Watchtower lies. I showed him how the Watchtower was lying to us with this brochure they had called, we called it the Trinity brochure, why you shouldn't believe in the Trinity. And this friend of mine saw all the alterations and misquotes that the Watchtower did. And you know what he said to me? Well, it's not illegal. It's not against the law for them to do that. Like so they're not going to get arrested and go to jail, so it's okay. I couldn't believe it. This guy saw all this stuff I shared with him that I had been discovering. One of my closest friends, and the dude completely went into a legality argument, just like this recent commenter did. And it's typical for Jehovah's Witnesses to do that. They defend their leaders, even if they see the outright lies for themselves. They defend their leaders because, you know, this is your side. The Jehovah's Witnesses, that's my side. Everything else is the other side, and the other side's evil, and my side's good. And I've been preaching this, and I've been believing it all my life, and there's no way I'm going to question it. That'll shatter everything in me, and I cannot dare do that. Which is so cowardly. You think it's extreme, awesome faith. But they're being cowards, unfortunately. And they're terrified mostly of what other people will think of them. Because deep down, do they really care about what their God thinks of them? Not if they're watching the YouTube videos. Not even if they're investigating their leaders just a little bit. Because their belief is that those guys are Almighty God's men, women. If there's any women that are leaders, I don't think so, but those are God's chosen men, and you're not allowed to question their teachings. And you're not allowed to watch former Jehovah Witness videos or any other videos that have to do with anything with Christianity, Bible, Christ, God, Jesus, nothing. And they do it anyway. Why? Why do they do it? Because they don't believe God's watching them. They don't even really believe. They might believe in the existence of God, but they don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going against their faith. They would never tell their leaders that they did that. They would never be honest and open. They live in this dark, dark closet of deception. It's a deep darkness, man. And it's a closet because they're hiding in a closet. And it's a closet full of deception. And that's why they do it. And you know, the reason you guys hear me speak a lot recently, especially about Jehovah's Witnesses, is because I was in it. And they're on my heart to, like, now's the time to wake up, you guys. And if Jehovah's Witnesses are watching this, I mean, my hopes is not that they'll join something I'm starting or some other religion, or that's not my goal at all. I don't have a following, or I'm not starting anything. I just want you to wake up and be free. You know, the only reason you're watching these kinds of videos is because deep down you've got questions inside, but you're terrified to share it with anybody. And then you get upset at yourself. You have this little guilt trip. So when you come on my channel and you make comments, they're always like, smart alecky and trying to be so wise and stuff. And it's just like, oh, and I see right through it. And sometimes I'll comment back just to shake them up a little bit. Splash some water on their face, shake them, wake them. Because some people are so far and deep into a sleep, you got to shake them to wake them up. You got to splash water on their face to wake them up. You know, and I do believe that we are in end times. And now's the time to wake up. And now's the time to get out of Babylon the Great, the scripture says, which is a place of deception and confusion. Babel means confusion. That's where the word Babylon comes from. And if it's great, it means it's great confusion. It means it's all over this world. It's worldwide, earth-wide confusion. Don't think it's just in your media. Don't think it's just in your politicians. It's in the stuff that you believe in about God. It's in your religions. You can still believe in God and have something that's personal and one-on-one. Did you know that? And you don't need to be deceived by these religious leaders. You can live free today. You can have the freedom to worship in your own way, when nobody's looking, when you're in your own room alone, and you can come to Him always as a loving Father who will forgive you, has forgiven you already, you just don't know it. That's why I said will, because you just aren't aware that you've been forgiven. And it stays that way. You don't get forgiven over and over and over again. You're just forgiven forever. Now your mind has to catch up with all of it. And then you figure out who the heck you are in this place and what your purpose is. And maybe you think your purpose is that title you had as a Jehovah's Witness, or that job title, or anything else. But your purpose is so far beyond that. Some of us don't even realize our purpose until the time goes and we see how God's got His hand in our life, because we're working in alignment with Him. And trust me, you guys, you stay in that religion, you are continually deceiving not only yourself, but you will be deceiving others as well. Trust me, I know. I've been there. And so many of us that used to be Jehovah's Witnesses, we have been there. And there's many of us, believe it or not, that have an amazing relationship with Christ, something that we never had as Jehovah's Witnesses. And it's so difficult to put into words, right? Until you actually lived it and it's become a part of you. It's your testimony, which is powerful. Anyway, I hope this has blessed you guys. Love you all. God bless you. Have a great day. And we'll see you all next time.